Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to Stormgate Central, and welcome back to another casted game. This time we're going to have Mixu playing as the Vanguard, and he's going to be going up against Fana playing as the Celestials up in the top right corner here. So this is actually taken from Adiko's channel. For those of you who aren't aware, he has a tournament called the Alpha Navigators Cup that he holds, or he held, every single weekend during any of the beta tests for Stormgate. And he's, luckily for me, uploaded all of the VODs to his channel. So this is going to be one of the quarterfinals. This is all taken from the frigate test, as you can see in the top right corner. And we are going to have 3 more quarterfinals as well. So if you guys want to see those games and you want to see where this goes, then make sure that you guys are subscribed and following the channel. So pretty standard stuff coming out of Fana at the moment. He's just bringing his arc ship down here, looking to take this Luminite camp. Putting his collection array on the natural, of course. Nothing strange about that. Mixu going for a barracks, going to some of that bio play, probably early Lancer, that's the kind of thing he likes to do. So both of these players, Mixu has been, you know, pretty big part of Stormgate really since the early betas. He's been very serious about his play. He, of course, has been a pretty good StarCraft 2 player for a long time. He's still a fairly young guy, though. He's only 21 years old, I believe, and he is from Finland. Fana, on the other hand, I really don't know all too much about this guy. I have found his Twitter here, and it says Esport Brawler, World Champion from Europe, invading RTS space with Stormgate, and I can see he's posted a screenshot here showing that in the frigate playtest he did reach number 25 on the leaderboard, so he is certainly no scrub either. So we did see that Fana has thrown down a Bastion, so it looks like he's going to be going into those Argents at the start of the game here, building up around his natural. Mixu, on the other hand, he's been out and about on the map. He actually just took that Luminite resource camp from Fana, so you will have noticed at the start of the game it's pretty standard for Celestials. What they do is they land their arc ship on one of the resource camps, they kill the creeps, but then they can't actually cap it with the ship. You have to have a unit there to cap it. You can cap it with the Morph Core, as we see him doing there, but he kind of just left it open for Mixu and lost it. And Mixu is just going to continue here. He's got a Lancer out with his scouts, and he's just going to continue, it looks like, to make his way around the map and start camping, or capping rather, all of these resource camps. Probably going to take the observation tower as well, or maybe not, he's just going straight for the Therium. I suppose he doesn't really need the observation tower if he knows that Fana is pretty much in his base for the time being. He knows that there isn't any weird proxy shenanigans going on. You know, that was quite a common thing that we saw there as well, seeing the ARP ship flying across the map and then just dropping bastions as it goes. I have been guilty of that myself in the past, I'll admit it. But let's see what these guys decide to do. I guess Mixu's gearing up to take an expansion. So, yeah, it looks like these guys are going to be going 2 for 2. It's kind of hard to compare, like, the Luminite harvesting rates, though, because, you know, 12 bobs on one Luminite mine is not exactly the same as one collection array. And then, of course, you can add these prisms, the workers, if you like, for the Celestials onto the collection array, 3 of those at a time, and you can add those to boost the collection speed. So he's throwing down a Force Projector here, possibly looking to get out some upgrades for his Bastion. And this Morph Core is just going to make sure that that Luminite node doesn't get taken by Mixu, but he does have to be careful with it because you don't really want those to get sniped off. They're not the most expensive units in the game. They only cost like 100 Luminite, but you can also morph them, of course, into collection arrays and increase the amount of expansions that you have. So, you know, you definitely do want to hold on to them. And they're pretty slow to move, so Mixu now has a couple of hedgehogs, or at least one hedgehog out on the map. He can, of course, deploy those to target anti-air, and amongst them, the Morph Core. So we now see a machine lab coming down for Mixu. I guess that means it can only really mean one thing. Well, either he's going to go for the upgrades for the hedgehogs, but more likely he is going to be looking to get out some Atlases here. And this is exactly what I was worried about. I don't know what he's doing with the Morph Core over that side of the map. I guess he just figured, you know what, I'm just going to use this thing as a scout. I'm not going to make an expansion with this. Unfortunately, he hasn't really gotten any useful information there. And as far as he knows, Mixu is still just on these 2 bases. which he is, luckily for Fana, but he's really none the wiser. But right now, Mixu is completely taking the map control. In fact, you can tell just how confident he is, because he hasn't taken any of the observation towers. You will get, like, a little bit of resources from killing the creeps there, but he knows that it's more, oh, another snipe on that morph core coming in there. Man, those hedgehogs are just disgusting, that anti-air mode. They just destroy, don't they? In fact, I played solely as the Celestials during my time playing Frigga, and I can tell you guys, it was really hard to deal with the Vanguards whenever they went hedgehogs, and they knew that, so they would go hedgehogs pretty much every game. There really isn't, at least in my eyes, any like proper counter to them. We're gonna see, you know, once early access rolls around, if Frost Giant decide to change either the Celestials or the hedgehogs in that regard, but right now Fana is definitely on the back foot. And Mixu doing a really nice job here. He's using the scout's ability to ping up on the high ground there, and that's giving him vision so that he can snipe those buildings on the ledge of Fana. So maybe a little bit of an oversight by Fana putting those buildings there on the ledge. That's like nothing new. Everybody knows that Vanguard players do that with their scouts, and he's really just asking for it. That's actually one of the reasons that, generally speaking, you want to put your expansion building a little bit further in and not too close to the edge, because it can be susceptible to those sorts of attacks. Yeah, just look at that map. Just look at that blue map, man. Like, Mixu knows it as well. He's not even bothered about taking the observation towers, like I was saying before, because why bother wasting the time when you can instead spend your time keeping hold of the resource towers that are going to give you more resources? He knows that Fana is just stuck in his base here. He's not going to get any run-bys off, so why bother having the observation tower? The trees have gone down here, so Mixu has an alternate route into this base, but oh, he's also got a nice catch there on the collection array on the and he lifts it off here, but if he, yeah, he's going to just deploy and burst this thing down. Oh my god. Seriously, like the DPS of those hedgehogs in anti-air mode, it has been... I don't want to sound like I'm biased against the Vanguard here, guys, because I have played a lot of Vanguard, but every time I see them kill something, I'm just left with my jaw on the floor. So, Mixu's actually got a hangar bay here. A nice little proxy hangar bay. He's got a couple of Atlas down as well, so he's probably going to be getting an evac out of there and looking to do some drop shenanigans. Of course, the Celestials, they do have some decent defensive capabilities. They have Sovereign's Watch that they can place down on a building. Absolutely devastates enemy units. So I think that's why Mixu's not pushing in here, right? He's in no rush. He's continuing just to snipe up on the high ground, using the dogs again, and now he's got the dogs on the high ground, so he doesn't even need to use the ability. He's got an Atlas down there. This is not looking good for Fanu at all here in the first game. He has some Kree out, but I'd say the Kree, like, they deal slightly better with hedgehogs just because they match the speed of the hedgehogs, but you can see that when they're not in their roll-out mode, where they're not rolly boys, they're still slower than the hedgehogs, and they're just getting kited around, and since they are melee units, they're not a great counter to them either. So you guys can sort of see the conundrum, and GG, man, he realizes there's no way out of this, and we're going to move on to game number 2 on Boneyard. So this time we have Fana playing in the blue, down in the bottom left, and he looks like he's moving his Morph Core out here to go and take his expansion at the Luminite only. And we have Mixu up in the top right, putting down the barracks and getting ready to cheese his opponent or do whatever he's going to do. Who knows? You never know what's going to come out of Mr. Mixu, the Finnish beast. I don't know if I mentioned, by the way, did I mention that Fana is from Hungary? Because he is. So there you go. So this is one of the new maps here, Boneyard. Not all too familiar with it. There are a couple of islands, if you guys can see in the middle of the map there. There's one on the left side and there's one on the right side of the map. They're pretty central, but Fana may be looking to utilize those because, of course, he can just float a Morph Core over there and plonk down a collection array easy peasy. He's using his Sovereign's Watch here on the health camp just to kill these creeps and get a little bit... Oh, wow, look at the range on that thing, man. It could even hit the scout of Mixu's down on the floor there. But yeah, you know, you may as well use those abilities early on in the game. He's probably not going to need it defensively so early on against Mixu, so may as well use it to take out the Morph Core. He's probably wanting to land the Arc Ship right next to the Luminite camp there, but Mixu's going to deny him that with that pesky Scout underneath, so he's just going to have to bust out some Argents and wait until he's got some units on the field, I guess. I would like to see Fana go for something different this game because, you know, the Argents, they just really can't hold a candle to the Hedgehogs. Hedgehogs do extra damage against heavy units like the Argents. The Argents don't do extra damage against Hedgehogs, so they're just really not a great counter. Maybe going for Kree a little bit earlier on, especially if you get an early upgrade, is going to be a good idea, but we'll see what Fana does here. Mixu is going to be going straight to the Therium. I've noticed he did this in the last game too. So he's looking to take that Therium, presumably so that he can start some early upgrades for his bio. And that way he doesn't have to waste any workers on the Therium mine. He can just keep them all on the Luminite, build an expansion, use them elsewhere. Smart play. So here it looks like that is indeed exactly what Fana is going to be doing. He is moving a Morph Core up to the Northern Island expansion. So he's going to be looking to have a sneaky little collection array down there. Question is, will Mixu find it in time before this game starts to snowball in Fana's favor? Mixu really wants this Therium. He's actually, you know, committing with his units somewhat here, sending them so far afield because this is a pretty large map. So if Fana would have actually decided to go for any kind of a quick rush, maybe he would have hidden a bastion up in the top of the map there, because the Celestials, as you guys may or may not know, they have a special ability where they can designate one of their production structures as the primary structure, and then all of your units will come out of there. So he could have hidden a bastion somewhere at the top of the map and then done some kind of an Argent rush, catching Mixu off guard, but luckily for Mixu, he's not going to be doing that. And Mixu is just going to continue to take more and more resource camps once again here. And there's that mech bay. There come the Hedgehogs. Guys, if you are enjoying the cast here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like I say, I am going to be doing the other 3 games in these quarterfinals, and then of course the semi-finals and the grand finals. So if you want to keep up to date with this tournament, by all means, feel free to do that. And then of course going into early access when Stormgate actually comes out, we're going to be doing a lot of more casting, a lot of guides for the game, and of course I will always continue to cover Stormgate news here on the channel as well. So thank you guys as always for the support. So the Scout is going to get into the main here and check out what's going on. Sovereign's Watch thrown down on the Bastion is going to make those Lancers back up there, but it's not really a big deal for Mixu. He's just going to wait that one out. There is really no loss to using Sovereign's Watch. It doesn't cost any resources or any energy or anything like that. It's just on a timer. So that's the only drawback there for Fana using that. And he has found one of the expansions. I actually missed that, but he's taken both of these island expansions as Fana here with collection arrays. And Mixu's noticed it. So he's probably gonna, you know, he's not gonna let that lie. He realizes, like, oh crap, maybe he's way more ahead in resources than I thought he was. And he's probably also thinking right now, does he have the other one? Does he have the second island on the top of the map? So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him scouting that pretty soon as well. Those Argents, though, they are going to be able to deal with those 2 Lancers and the 2 Hedgehogs pretty handily. They do extra damage against Lancers. Oh, he's maybe going to get a nice pick on this Hedgehog there. Oof. Like, once again, though, man, the Hedgehogs, they're just too fast. He's just running circles around them. What can you do? Did Mixu, did he salvage his barracks? I guess he must have done. And he now seems to be he must have salvaged the barracks and built a mech bay. And he's now rebuilding the barracks at his natural. And already Mixu's gotten an annoying Hedgehog in the main. This is kind of the weakness of the Celestials. It's great and all being able to put Morph Cores and build collection arrays all over the map, but they're extremely susceptible to harassment. But he's going to be coming in here and getting some pretty decent damage. He's taken out a Hedgehog already. And, you know, this many Argents. Oh, nice little surround, though, there with the Lancers. Every single time he has to move back and stutter step with the Argents, those Hedgehogs are just dealing a ton of damage, and he's taken out everything here. This was really well played by Mixu. you can see as well, one of the benefits there for him of taking all of those creep camps is that his hedgehogs are, most of them are at full veterancy. Now each level of veterancy gives them, I believe it's 20% more health and 10% more damage. You of course have a new top bar ability in this playtest for the Vanguard called Promote, and that just gives one of your units veterancy points. So he may have been using that there as well, but yeah, those are scary once they get fully upgraded, those hedgehogs. And we still do have a lot of Argents here, but I don't know, man. I feel like this is way too late in the game to just have Argents out. Again, like, this is what happened in the last game. Like, they just have to back off, right? There's nothing they can do against those hedgehogs. They're just going to get kited around all day long by them. Ooh. Almost got a nice snipe off there. Of course, they do double damage with their attacks, the Argents, when they have energy. But now you can start to see several of them getting pretty low on energy. They don't have any power banks here close by to recharge themselves. So once they've lost their energy, then they're going to start to do less damage and become even less effective than they already are. But he's going to push in here to the natural of Mixu anyway. There is an Atlas there. Nice dodge by Fana. But these three hedgehogs and the Atlas, like, there's no way he's getting up that ramp. It's just way too dangerous. He tries to go down for some of the Theory and Bob workers here, but the hedgehogs are going to follow now, and he's got the dropship out, or the evac rather, with the Atlas, so he's able to just follow Fana around here in every way possible. I feel so bad for Fana right now. Like, I've been here so many times, and this is just an extremely frustrating thing to deal with. But kudos to Mixu, man. He knows exactly how to counter straight up Argent play. I feel like if you're going to go for Argents, there's a reason behind that. You need to capitalize on it very early in the game, maybe go for some kind of a proxy or some kind of rush. Like, if you're not going for early aggression, you probably want to tech up to something past the Argents so that you don't get dominated by those hedgehogs. And now we've got a couple of dropships coming up to the island. Mixu has found the answer that he needs against this island base. Sovereign's Wrath is going to be thrown down on the link node, targeting down the evac. So Mixu kind of has to be careful. He's also stuck between the Argents there. The Argents can target air units as well, make no mistake about that. So he's sort of just on the cusp of taking damage from Sovereign's Wrath and the Argents. Drops the Atlas now on the low ground though. Well, I think he just destroyed, like, how many Argents was that? Like 5? Oh, down goes the Arc ship, dude. He landed that there to try and defend, but like, this is looking like it's going to be another GG, man. So when your Arc ship goes down as the Celestials, you have no choice but, of course, to rebuild it. And if memory serves, I think it costs a whopping 500 Luminite. So here's hoping that Fana has that banked at the moment and he's going to be able to create another one. But you can just sack this base. This island expansion is done for. Nice little catch, though, by Fana on the Atlas there on the low ground. But I think the mobility of Mixu's army here is what's going to trump him this game. But it looks like he's going to do a little bit of a counterattack here with the Argents. He's going to move up to the natural, see what he can get done here. This time going the other way around, though, and see if he can poke into the rear. Wait, where is he actually going with those? Does he think that Mixu has a third in there? Like, it's kind of odd that he wouldn't just scan that. I guess he doesn't have any scans. Nope, no third there, so he turns around. So there's the Arc ship going down. That's actually an Arc ship building on the ground there. So not only does it take 500 Ethereum, but you've also got to build the thing again. Mixu's actually going to go and move up and take this expansion instead down to the south, where it's going to be a little bit easier for him to defend it with his army. So I really like that from him. I guess he doesn't need the Therium. He's already got 2 Theriums anyway. So Fana is just going to continue to walk around the map here. I mean, I think Mixu is just so out ahead now. He does still have that other island expansion, though. So I guess, surprisingly almost, Mixu didn't find that, and he's just going to leave that to Fana to continue harvesting resources. But he is now pushing into this. Well, it's not really the natural, is it? It's like in front of the natural, this little forward position that Fana's had for the entire game. And he's finally going to lose that Luminite hold that he's had for the whole game as well. That is a lot of dropships and most likely a lot of Atlases as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Atlases, I think, here. That's a lot of firepower coming in. And then also with the Hedgehogs down on the low ground, they can, of course, deploy against anti-air. This is just like an all-inclusive masterful army here by Mixu. There's even a Sentinel in the sky that can spellcast if he really needs it, but I think it's more just there as a bit of a threat more than anything else. And down goes this expansion for Fana. I just don't see a way back for him. I'm still so surprised that he's just walking around with Argents. Like, he's been walking around with Argents the whole game, the whole last game. This, oh, he's getting a nice pick on this Atlas, though, here. Wait, does he notice it? Okay, yeah, he sees it. That is going to go down, and he's getting the Sentinel as well here. In fact, these Hedgehogs should probably back off. Wait, even though there's only 3 Hedgehogs, you guys can see how incredibly powerful they are. I think all 3 of them did go down, but I would wager that there was maybe only 3 Argents left. Okay, yeah, he's just managed to out-micro them there with the Argents with a little bit of back and forth, but Mixu is in the main, baby, and this is going to go down in no time at all. This is the end of the game. Surely, he's got to call GG any second now because there's just no way that this can go on. Ironically, the only thing left standing is the second island base that Mixu just kind of didn't bother going for, and GG is called. Mixu is going to take this one with a 2-0. The next game is going to be between MSRN and Tibnu, and the winner of that is going to play Mixu in the semi-finals. So once again, guys, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that game. I will probably be releasing it tomorrow. Thank you guys ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.